Out here playing with the dog, but I got the boots on. All right, we're gonna go over today's video is gonna be about waxing your boots, whether you should do it or not, how to do it, pros and cons. Hey Basil, and why you might consider it really.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Okay, so just like your clothing, you get issued layering systems. And this is the Army's boot layering system. You got your hot weather, your wet weather, and your cold weather. My unit issues these Danners, and this is for extreme cold. I think these are good down to -20, and those are supposed to be -30, -40. I think even as bad as -60 is what they claim. Um, but that being said, there's a layering system. All right, and the big flaw that I've always noticed, at least for me, is these boots, the Gore-Tex boots, uninsulated Gore-Tex boots. Um, my feet sweat like hell on them. They're not breathable because they're waterproof inherently. And when you have something waterproof, it does not breathe. And my feet sweat, and I don't find them that comfortable. And my toes actually still get wet in these, whether it's from sweat or water still leaking in there somehow, some way. It's just not perfect. So what I personally do is I throw these away, not literally because I still have them, and I put these ones. Voila, that's my solution. Waxed boots. They are darker. They do not meet Army regulation. But while in the field, you could get away with a lot of stuff. At least with my chain of command, they don't really care. But they just look like wet boots. But that being said, why might you do this? Okay, so I wear these in environments of snow. Um, I wear them if I know I'm going to be kicking through some colder, dewy grass, wet grass, maybe tromping through a little more wetland locations so that you don't get the wet feet from, kicking through the grass. These are really kind of like puddle boots. You could survive a puddle just fine. Obviously, if you wade through a lake or something or a stream, a full-blown stream, your feet are still going to get wet. But why you might choose wax boots over Gore-Tex boots is that you still retain the weep hole. So if you did have to do a river crossing or something like that, your feet can actually start drying out still without maybe completely changing out boots. They dry quicker than the Gore-Tex boots as well. So you still got those weep holes so that your feet can eventually dry over time if you're in a rush. Um, the reason why I came up with this personally, I haven't seen this anywhere, but because it is against Army regulation. But I do this because I'm looking at the world and the environment around me and the conflicts around the world here. There's some colder environments starting to get a little spicy. Um, and I always had an issue with sweaty feet, and I hated the Gore-Tex boots. So I'm like, hey, what can I do? Well, I know for my hunting boots and my civilian boots, I oftentimes wax them. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to wax Army ones and go with that. I have found that to be an amazing decision. My toes are way better off. Breathability. It's a perfect in between boot between the warm weather boots and the cold weather boots, in my opinion. Another application that's relevant for me is when you go in and out of a hot tent and you kick some snow up on your toes, and it's fine while it stays freezing temperatures, but the moment you go into a hot tent or inside of a building, it starts to melt on your toes, and eventually, or even just the heat of your toes, and it'll sweep through, and then boom, your toes are wet. Well, that won't happen with waxed boots. Your toes will stay dry given snow environments, while still retaining that breathability. So if you're going to have any form of movement, a ruck or some sort of mission, you're on mission. I personally don't like Gore-Tex boots because of the sweat and heat that is over-generated. And then your toes get wet by your sweat, and then you start to get cold feet. This is my solution to that. These are GoRuck Mac V2s. That's my newest pair. These are my old pair. All right, so this is how they age, because these boots are about 3 to 4 years old. I waxed them only once a while back, basically when I first bought them, actually. And the same story. These are actually what I did first before I did those ones. So, and I love them. I absolutely love them. It kind of puts a nice little patina, makes your boots look kind of cute. But when they're fresh, obviously they look really dark and wet. You could probably make up for that with really heating it up crazy, and maybe even taking a slight softer bristle brush and maybe kind of roughing it up a little bit. You can kind of fade the leather look, or sorry, the wax look on the leather, and kind of make it brighter so it matches a little better. But it's fantastic. Love this boot. You're going to need a sock, soft bristle brush, wax, and a heat gun. First, you're going to strip the laces. Take those, put them away somewhere safe, and just look at what you got here. Take your bristle brush. Let's try to get all the existing crusty mud, dust, all that sort off of the boot. We don't want to remove material off of the leather and suede here, but we do want to get it cleaned up enough so that the wax can actually set. Next, burn off any of these flyaways here, these little Irish pennants. We're just going to burn those off so it looks cleaner at the end of it. Everywhere there's leather, we're going to put the wax here. So we're going to put all the wax here on these seams, all up on here, so that your toes don't get wet. Where we're not going to apply wax is on this Dora canvas, whatever. That's the venting. You're going to sweat like a dog if you do wax that. This weep holes here for rainwater, all of the sort, we're not going to wax those. This is not a Gore-Tex boot at the end of this, but it is going to be largely water resistant with more breathability than the Gore-Tex boot. Well, I hope you guys liked it. Got Basil back there in frame. If he's not, I'll get him. I'm kidding. Hope you guys liked it. Wax your boots at your own risk. It's not Army regulation. I'm also unvaxxed. That was not regulation for a little bit as well. But here I am, still in the Army. That being said, if you like the content, give a like, subscribe. If you saw something in the background, let me know. Let me make a video on it. I don't make money off this, obviously, so it's low grade, but I kind of enjoy it. It's a fun hobby. So like, subscribe, comment something funny or cool, or some tips and tricks, or hate, whatever. I don't care. Let's send it. So have a good one.